says, the word of the Lord came to him. And then in verse 4 it says, the word of the Lord came to me saying, behold, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations. Very interesting verse there, because it tells you something about the baby in the womb. It tells you that God could actually know a baby in a womb. So before you were born, while you were still in your mother's womb, God knew who you were. What does that tell you about the baby in the womb? It tells you that the baby in the womb is already a person whom God can relate to. Find in the book of Luke that John the Baptist was filled with the Holy Spirit from his mother's womb. So the Holy Spirit came into him while he was in his mother's womb. You also find that when Jesus came into the room where Mary was with John the Baptist, where Elizabeth was with John the Baptist in her womb, Mary came in with Jesus in her womb. Jesus had just been conceived, and it says that John the Baptist leapt for joy in his mother's womb as he sensed the presence of Jesus in the womb of Mary. That tells you that when Jesus was even in the very moment of conception, when he was so small you couldn't have seen him, he was already God, and he was already the Holy Spirit, and God was with him in the womb. That tells you something very important about a subject which is on many of our hearts, the subject of abortion. The abortionist will tell you that the baby in the womb is just a fetus and it only becomes a person when it's born. As far as God's concerned, that's not true. God says that the baby is already a person in the womb of its mother. Read in Psalm 139, verse 13, says, you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I will praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were within your book, before one of them came to be. So you have a number of scriptures there which tell you that the baby in the womb is already a person which God has made, as God has knit it together, in the marvelous way in which God has conceived the way in which children are born into the world. And do you ever think about the fact that the fact of reproduction is a sign of God's work in creation? You have to have a male, you have to have a female, they both have to have different bodies, but they have to have bodies which will come together, and as they come together they're going to conceive a child which will become a new person. How could that have come by millions of years of evolution? It's not possible. If it didn't work the first time, there was no millions of years to evolve. It had to work the first time. As we read in Genesis, God put even within the body as it was made, the ability of every creature to reproduce itself after its own kind. One of the big evidences, to my mind, of creation, not evolution. And of course, if you do take the evolutionary view, then you could say just the unborn baby is just a thing which you can dispose of if it's inconvenient. In fact, some are saying you can dispose of it even up to just before conception, which is kind of weird, because that means you can kill your baby in your womb if it's 1 week to go before it gets born, and that's okay. If you kill it 1 week after it's been born, that's murder. Well, as far as God is concerned, it's murder both ways, and you shouldn't do it.